Imagine you're waiting in line. Your heart beats faster and faster. Your body shakes with anticipation. Your palms are sweaty. Your arms feel heavy. Mom's spaghetti. Wait, what? Ignore that last part. Your eyes shift from the person in front of you to the tippity-tippity top of the roller coaster as the roller coaster carts come racing down past you and you hear the screams. Rah! Are you excited? Or are you nervous? I think this is a really interesting example of how our perspective changes our views and beliefs when we hear descriptions or when we see and observe events. A lot of the time, objects, events, those are actually very neutral, right? Like your palms being sweaty, your heart beating faster, right? Those don't necessarily mean anything. It could be good, it could be bad, right? You could be excited or you could be nervous. But after we observe these neutral events, we add our own connotation, we add our own kind of perspective to that event to kind of alter the meaning to be either positive or negative, either good or bad. Using our own perspective, we kind of create a backstory for that event, or we create some type of mold for that event to fit into, or we kind of categorize it, which our brains are really, really keen and really actively just trying to categorize everything. Is that good or is that bad? Is that dangerous or is it safe? Is it edible? Is it not edible? Those, your brain is kind of, built to do that just in order to survive. Oftentimes these categorizations or our initial reactions and our initial classification for things will often be due to maybe our first impression, maybe past events that happened to us, maybe some odd memories or some emotions that we feel. For example, let's say someone slams the door. Oh, just because that person just has anger issues. Or maybe, oh, that person's probably in a rush. Or, oh, that's just a bear that recently transformed into human and is trying to slowly get accustomed to using human objects with its bear strength. The point is that we infuse events, just like neutral events that occur all the time. We add our emotions to it, or we add our perspective to it, as I keep saying. And in a way, we kind of alter how that event occurred in our mind. That's why a lot of the times you see people saying witness testimonies aren't actually that accurate, because everyone has their own set of pasts, right? Everyone has their own set of beliefs. Everyone has their own set of emotions that when they were feeling at that time. For example, if you were walking down the street alone and you know it's a kind of a sketchy neighborhood, right? You'd be on edge. Versus if you grew up in that neighborhood and you just finished dinner, you're super full and you're super happy, then you might see an event that occurred in a different light. So how we see events and the kind of baggage we add to a certain event could be affected by maybe, let's say, our first impression, maybe our current mood, maybe even an event that just occurred a few seconds or a few minutes beforehand. And it can also be affected by what people tell us to think, right? When you see on the news, right? Someone says, someone on the news, they describe an event and they'll have their own bias to it. Or maybe if someone introduces you to a friend and they say try to be more patient with the person. They're really slow. Or maybe they say, yeah, this person, sometimes he might have anger issues, so just look out for that. Just saying that, just adding that little tidbit alters your first impression of them, because you already have a first impression. So let me give you another thought experiment. So imagine a person. They are intelligent, they are friendly, they're stubborn, and they're envious. Odds are the moment you heard those first two characteristics, you already envisioned a person in your mind. You already assumed that this person is probably an upstanding moral character. This person is probably really good. And then maybe you even justified the later characteristics. Oh, this person's stubborn because they persevere. That's how they get further in life. That's how this person became intelligent, because they're stubborn and they won't give up. And maybe when you heard envious, you think again, this person's envious of those around them. So then that makes them more, that gives them their drive in order to become more smart, in order to become successful. But what if I switched it around? What if I switched the ordering? What if I said they're envious, they're stubborn, they're friendly, and they're intelligent? Well, this just changes your entire thought and your entire makeup of this person. You hear envious and stubborn and you automatically think this person is probably a bad person. When I say friendly, you think, oh, this person's just friendly because they want something from me. They're envious, right? They're jealous of me, so they act friendly in order to backstab me later. Or you hear intelligent and you think this person's conniving, this person's sly, this person's out to get me, right? They're trying to fool me, they're trying to pull a fast one on me, right? First impressions do matter. If I were to ask you before even hearing this thought experiment, if I said, can someone be both intelligent and friendly as well as stubborn and envious? Your first thought would probably be, no, they can't be, right? You can't be envious and friendly. You can't be stubborn and intelligent, right? That might be your first thought. And I feel like a lot of people might actually think that. But all those four attributes are completely not mutually exclusive. That was a weird way to say it. Those four attributes are not mutually exclusive, right? You can be those four attributes, those four characteristics. Now, I wanted to give one more example that relates to perspective, but also has to do with stocks and options. And I never really get to talk about stocks and options. So this is kind of my chance to talk about stocks and options, because I just like talking about it. And I never get to talk about stocks. So sit down and listen, right? Before we begin, not financial advice, right? But with that disclaimer out of the way, here we go. So let's say Billy is holding stock ABB. Why is he holding stock ABB? Because ABB. Let me get a number. Trust me, I would never say that in my life. I would die of embarrassment the moment I said that in my life. Okay, anyways. My dating life out of the way. So, ABB... Stock ABB it's a small stock. It's a growth stock. And Billy has a lot of questions about it. He has a lot of qualms about it. He's actually quite worried. His friend told him to buy it a few weeks ago, and it's been doing okay, but he's really worried about the bankruptcy potential of stock ABB. He wants to buy insurance just in case it goes belly up. Where can he get insurance? Well, now that we have Billy in mind, let's imagine Jane. Jane, on the other hand, has been studying this stock for quite some time, and she's really interested in it. However, she thinks that right now, it's a little bit expensive. It's at $105, but she thinks that a good buy-in price would maybe be around like $97. $97 a share, she'd be more than willing to buy it. She thinks it's really safe then, and she's excited, and she just hopes for that stock to drop to that price so she can buy into it. $97 a share? That would be a wonderful price. I can't wait for that to happen. In this case, as we can see, Jane is looking for the stock to drop, whereas Billy is worried that the stock will drop. And we see this difference in perspective. So let's continue. Jane, however, is a smart cookie. She knows that there are people like Billy who are worried to hold stock ABB. She thinks that she knows that there are people that are worried holding stock ABB, and she comes up with a plan. She approaches Billy and says, "Hey Billy, I know that you might be scared holding stock ABB. How about I give you a deal, right? I will sell you insurance. If the stock goes below $100, you can force me to buy it at $100, but I'll charge you for this insurance and it'll cost $3. Will you accept?" Billy, being super worried that his stock will belly up and go to bankruptcy, more than willingly buys the insurance for $3. Both people in this example are really happy, right? Billy, on one hand, he gets his safety net. He's happy that he can sleep soundly now that he has insurance, and that he doesn't have to worry about the stock going below $100, because if it does, then he can just force Jane to buy it, or he can get Jane to just buy his stock. Jane, on the other hand, remember what she wanted? She wanted $97 a share. She told Billy, if it drops below $100 a share, you can force me to buy it at $100. But right now, pay me $3 for this chance to force me, right? So she gets the stock technically at $100 minus $3, which is $97 a share. What I just described is something called a put option. Before you go running into go buy put options or sell put options, right? This is not financial advice. Options are dangerous. You can lose everything. Don't dabble in it. Read everything. Make sure you understand everything 100%, right? I am not responsible for you losing your slippers and losing your socks, right? Do not hurt me, right? I'm not trying to hurt you, right? I'm just explaining what a put option is, kind of, sort of. There's more nuance to it, but you losing your socks is not my problem, okay? Not financial advice. I'm just explaining that is a financial instrument that shows you the idea of perspective, right? How you can sell someone's safety and then both people will be happy, right? Kind of the same thing with regular insurance, right? You're paying people money. You're paying them money for the chance to sleep well at night, right? Like, you don't have to worry about, let's say, if you have earthquake insurance, you don't have to worry that much about earthquakes. If you have fire insurance, if you have burglary insurance, I think, is that home insurance? I think that's home insurance. If you have auto insurance, right? Or you need to have auto insurance, like, buy auto insurance if you're gonna have a car. But like, once you have those insurances, you have that safety net, but you do pay money, and that person is willing to pay you money because they're betting on the chance that you are not gonna get into trouble, and then you're betting, and you're not necessarily betting on the chance that you're gonna get in trouble, but you have a safety net in case you get in trouble, right? You're not. It's kind of weird now that I think about it. That insurance is just you betting against yourself. But that's a different video. So I don't know, I just found this really interesting. I've been reading a lot of psychology books recently, and I just like I don't know, it seems so simple and so common sense when I talk about it, right? But then like it's just like mind-blowing, like super cool things. This again is the book Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, or also it's also touched upon in Thinking Fast and Slow by let's say Nathaniel, what is it? I was way off. Daniel Kahneman. I think just Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman. Whoops. Hey, they're both named Dan. Cool. And I just found it really interesting. Like just imagine a stick, right? Even a stick. You just pick off a stick off the ground, right? Everyone will have different thoughts about that stick. Maybe one person will be like, oh, it's a stick. I should go play with my dog, because they remember maybe playing catch with their dog, right? Or playing fetch with their dog. And then another person might be, oh, it's a stick. That reminds me of camping, and then they just have nostalgia about their childhood. Another person, oh, a stick. That reminds me of I need to go cook dinner, because maybe in their childhood they had to go get firewood when they're little to cook dinner. The key thing is just that neutral events and just events that we observe kind of lead to different responses, right? It invokes different emotions out of every single person individually, right? Everyone has a different response to just a stick. And I think the important thing is that we have to kind of realize that we don't all share the same perspective, right? This is kind of how a lot of misunderstandings occur, how a lot of arguments occur, because we don't really see it from the other side, because we just assume everyone sees it from our own perspective. It kind of highlights how important communication is, how important kind of understanding the other side, or at least being open to understanding the other side and how they think and what they think, before we really act on our emotions. Again, with the slamming door, maybe someone might be like, oh, that person's really mad at me, I wonder why they're mad at me. But then they're just rushing because they missed their bus or something like that. So we should really wait for explanations instead of jumping to conclusions. And sometimes you can even make money, right? You can be like Jane. You can take advantage of the situation, you can take advantage of the perspective. Taking advantage sounds kind of weird. You can make the most out of it. you can satisfy their need while satisfying your need, right? Not taking advantage. Kind of. But yeah, not financial advice. That's it. I just wanted to talk about perspective, and it's just something interesting I was reading about. Have a good day. By the way, did you notice the quality got better? Hey, look, I don't look grainy anymore, I think. I hope. I adjusted some of the settings. So, I mean, like, if it, do you think it's a little better? I think it's a little bit better. Hello. Like, see, look, I'm not like fuzzy anymore, I don't think. I mean, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Tell me what you think, because I hope it's not fuzzy. Oh, what happened? What did I do? Undo. Oh, can I undo? I think it was like that. Like that? Yes. Maybe a little bit higher. There we go. Okay. Bye bye. What I just described is